At the end of Astra Malorum, it looks like our characters get dragged to hell, possibly giving us a clue as to where the next map is going to be taking place. So with that, along with the links that we have and some other content that's been found in the game, well, let's just say it's starting to get interesting. So the one thing I haven't done yet is an explanation for the Astra Malorum ending, because to be honest, there isn't that much that goes on that needs explaining. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, maybe not if you don't stay up to date with the storyline, but when the crew eventually free Caltharius from the Warden's bond, just like Vaetherian did, she gives Nikolai and Maya their souls back. Nikolai woman abuser confirmed? However, by now, the Warden had caught on to what they were doing. He had seen they were freeing his pets and not being able to keep an eye on them all of the time, because clearly he's up to something else, maybe attempting to restore the old multiverse. He more than likely thought these characters wouldn't be able to cause him much trouble. He underestimated them, but they have. They freed 2 Shadowsmiths from his control. I am a little bit suspicious about that, by the way. In Ashes of the Damned on like round 4 or 5, there is a quote from him where he tells the characters he's going to be looking away for a while, and Richtofen specifically says that it may be a trap. And also, considering he left our characters alive, he didn't completely drain their essence, makes me a little bit sus that this is all a part of his plan and he has been watching the characters all this while. Either way, he catches on to what they are doing, where he pulls the entity into this portal. Caltharius escapes, and Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai, Dempsey, Weaver, Carver, Grey and Maya are pulled by the Warden's Ravengers into what could be the Dark Ether's version of hell, into the underworld. Now, up to this point, we had been following a pretty straightforward storyline. We travel to these different maps to free the Shadowsmiths so that all of the characters can get their souls back. It seems like we were getting back 2 souls per map, which would follow the usual 4 DLC cycle, but we know this year, according to leaks, we are getting 5 DLC maps, so it makes sense that in one of those maps, the storyline takes a detour. And when we also know one of the DLC maps is going to be a remake or remaster of Nuketown Zombies, and according to the Ghost of Hope, it is the next map, DLC 2, because in Astra Malorum, there is an Easter egg where you can play the Alpha Omega Game Over song. There is a high chance the next map is the Nuketown remake. So what does that mean then? Are we going to Nuketown in the Dark Ether? Are we going to a hellish version of Nuketown? Well, I would ask the question, what would hell be in the Dark Ether? Because to me at least, the Dark Ether is hell. Everything about this place resembles it. So how could you get worse than this? What would the underworld of the Dark Ether be? I don't know, but something else I want to show you, which I saw the Gaming Revolution point out, he found this. In the portal that you see the entity get pulled back into, you can just about make out some very blurred shapes and objects. And well, he asked someone to go into the game files to find what this image would be, and he did. It is this up on screen. This is the blurred, distorted image that appears in the portal that the entity is pulled into. Now, the first thing I will say is this could just be a placeholder. It could be a general image created by AI, because there's not supposed to be any meaning behind it. It is just a random image Treyarch put into this portal to represent the entity getting pulled somewhere, but it is meaningless. However, to that I would say, well, surely they would just make the background of the portal red or purple or black. Why give it a very detailed yet blurry image like this? And especially when they know people will go into the game files and find it and then speculate about it. So whilst this could be nothing more than a meaningless placeholder, there's also the chance this is exactly where the entity was taken to. And where this is, well, we don't know. From the looks of it, it is some kind of destroyed building. It reminds me of a church or a cathedral. There's actually one ruin like this near me in real life, but then the background has a red mist and a very cloudy sky. And to be honest, this whole image does kind of remind me of hell. The sky being that cloudy, representing you not being able to escape, get through them. The reddish tone depicts hell in any scenario, along with the destroyed building. If this is the place that the entity was pulled into, and our characters were pulled down to the underworld, well, surely the Warden wouldn't have taken the entity and the characters to the same place, unless this is his home. Just how Dr. Monty had his house in Argotha, we don't actually know where the Warden is staying, if anywhere, but is this where the entity was taken to? Or, as I'm pretty sure the Gaming Revolution speculated, could this be the Nuketown Zombies map? Now, looking at it straight away, there is nothing here that would tell you this is Nuketown. Nuketown is very low level, there's only a few houses. This looks nothing like it, but because we know that's probably what the next map is, That would be a sensible guess, right? However, to me, unless Treyarch have changed the map drastically, and that could be the case, as we've seen with Ashes of the Damned, we all thought it was going to be a remake, remaster, or at the very least, reimagining of Transit, and whilst it is in terms of the way it works, it's really not. So even though we're being told the next map is a remake of Alpha Omega, could Treyarch have changed it that much to the point where this is it, but it looks so different that we can't tell? And I hope that's the case, because Alpha Omega is one of the worst maps I think we've had. I don't think it worked in BO4, it wasn't fun to me. The map itself doesn't really work as a round-based map, but depending on how much they change, it could. So I can't rule out the possibility that this is the new Nuketown map in this Dark Ether version of Hell. But because this is where we saw the entity get dragged to, I'm thinking maybe this is somewhere else. Perhaps the Warden's residence. Or the less fun answer is it's a placeholder. Either way, getting back to the cutscene, I'm guessing the whole storyline of DLC 2 is going to revolve around us escaping from Hell, and then in DLC 3 we find the next Shadowsmith to retrieve the souls of, I think it's going to be Takeo and Carver, and then in DLC 4 we find the Shadowsmith to get back the souls of Weaver and Richtofen. But that does leave us with a DLC 5. Maybe in that one, just like Revelations, we go to this place, if this is in fact the Warden's home, to defeat him. But we also know from that huge leak we got a year ago, spoilers here, so click off the video now if you don't want to know, but it's pretty common knowledge at this point, the Warden is attempting to restore the old multiverse, bring back everything from the old timeline. I'm assuming that would include Dr. Monty, the Shadow Man, the Keepers, Element 115 already exists. Maybe that multiverse's versions of Takeo, Dempsey, Nikolai and Richtofen as well. I've always said, if that is what he's wanting to do, that's strange to me, because surely that would mean the Warden is aware of the old multiverse, and to want to bring it back, there would have to be a motive. And the only one I could think of is he had some kind of power in it, or he existed in it, but we know he didn't, or he shouldn't have. I do like that there's a lot of mystery about the storyline that we don't have answers to, and we can theorize this year, so leave your theories about the story in the comment section below. But yeah, as of right now, our characters have been dragged to what I think is the Dark Ether's version of Hell, whatever that is, and potentially it's Nuketown. All of our old Zombies maps were banished into the Dark Ether at the end of Black Ops 4, so Nuketown is definitely here, as is Mob of the Dead, Call of the Dead, Ascension, Kino, all of them. So we are bound to see some of them at a point. And to potentially go along with this, there is a piece of intel that you can find in Astra, which is from Thurston. He has written this, where he dreamt of a mysterious place after he was sent into the Dark Ether. He wrote, "In all my dreamings in this place of dark wonder, none have captured my imaginings, as do those of the dwellings that cower under the malevolent glow of that demon cloud. It seems distended in time, offering tantalizing glimpses if one peers from the edge of one's eyes. Surely no such place was ever in material. No, it was pulled from the imaginings of the void. I am sure of it. The plurality persists in the voices of its guardians, who laugh and mock when I draw." So Thurston describes in a dream seeing a place that he believes was pulled from the void, a place that was under the glow of a demon cloud and had guardians. The image of this place has this very imposing cloud above it, all over the sky, and has a glow to it. Could this have been where Thurston was dreaming? It's not unusual for us to have teasers like this for future DLC maps, whether it be images or pieces of intel. We've seen it in Black Ops 6, we saw it in Cold War. Panos described Ashes of the Damned before we saw it, he talked about its locations. What Thurston talks about in this intel mentions somewhere that we have yet to see, so there's a very good chance he is talking about the next map. That's what Treyarch are teasing, and some of it, I will admit, does align with this image, especially the huge cloud in the sky. Another place that we have yet to see in Black Ops 7 Zombies, well, we have seen it, but not as an actual map or somewhere we can go to. We know we've been there though, is Dr. Monty's house within inside of a pocket in the Dark Ether. Maybe that will be the 5th DLC map. To me, I hope so, because that'd be cool. And if we do end up in Hell, I wonder if there are any characters that we could be re-seeing again. In the Zombies Q&A video I did the other day, somebody asked me if we could see the Victor's characters. I think that's a likely option, just not in the same human form that they were back in Black Ops 4. We know what the Dark Ether does to people. It changes you, it affects you, so the chance of them being something like a zombie or any other Dark Ether creature is pretty high, but knowing Treyarch and them bringing back characters, I wouldn't be surprised, especially if it's Alpha Omega, considering Martin was in Newtown and its links to maps like Transit with Ted, that we saw some remnant of them, and any other bad villainous characters that we've had over the years, where would you expect them to be in hell? In the worst of the worst, even though the Dog Eater's pretty bad. So hey, maybe the Shadow Man's here. Or maybe the Warden is the Shadow Man. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.